nutrition segment. Many people are confused about good fats and bad fats. Yes, that debate rages on. And are carbohydrates good or bad for you? Let's try to get some answers from dietitian Mayuri Bowen, who joins us once again this morning. Mayuri, good morning.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time. So the debate about fat, yes, it rages on depending on which diet you're actually following. Yes. So let's talk about the purpose of fat in a diet. Do you actually need it?
Absolutely. So fat is an essential nutrient, and it forms as an essential storage of fat. You know, we do need it, and it also acts as an insulation in extreme temperatures, and it also provides satiety, making us feeling fuller for longer. So definitely need to look at adding fats into diet, but also looking at the quality of fats that we're taking in.
Well, we know good fats and bad fats, so which is which?
So bad fats, not that I particularly like calling, you know, things bad or good, more unhealthy and healthy rather. So the unhealthy fats are generally your trans fats, which are generally commercially, you know, processed fats, which is your baked goods, your takeaway items, which is your pizzas and your pastas and your chips, and your saturated fats, which is your naturally occurring in animal-based products, which is your dairy and obviously meats. And cheeses, and your plant-based fat, which is unsaturated, and that's broken down into polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fats.
Okay, so how do we know now? I mean, does eating fat actually make you fat? I mean, there are some diets at the moment, like for the Banting, for example, which says fat helps you burn fat. So explain that for us, please.
So I think basically when we are eating more than what we should be eating, definitely that can affect our weight gain. But again, it goes back to looking at the types of fats that you're taking in. So if your diet is more on trans fats and saturated fats, you will have an excessive amount of unhealthy fats in your diet. And I mean, research does show that it can increase your risk for heart disease, and what they are saying that you should be replacing that with more of your polyunsaturated fats, which is more your nuts and your seeds,
like your avos and things like
yes,
that.
and your fatty fish as well. So at least 3 times a week, trying to include that.
So it's
into
how much
your
fat
diet.
and the quality of fat, what type of fat you're having, and that's the difference.
Yes.
Let's talk carbs. I mean, are carbs evil?
No, not at all, not at all.
We've spent decades thinking carbs are evil, but we need them, right?
No, we do need them. It provides us energy. And again, it goes back to the quality of carbs that we're taking in. So we do need more higher fiber carbs, which is your brown rice, your quinoa, your legumes, your beans. And a lot of the people are trying to go more plant-based.
Yeah.
And it's saying that let's start using our legumes as part of our carb and our protein.
So what are the bad carbs? I know you don't want to say bad. What are the unhealthy carbs?
Unhealthy carbs is more your refined, which has a very low fiber content.
Breads and things.
Which is also, again, the quality of bread.
Yes.
So if you're going to do a white bread, yes, I do think it's not necessarily the best option. But more your pizzas and your pies and your wraps, cake, biscuits. And again, it's all in excessive amounts that that they can have an effect on our health. So I'm not saying that you cannot eat them, but in moderate quantities. And we normally say treat foods should normally account for 20% of your diet.
So how often in a day, in our meal planning for the day, should carbs feature, the healthy ones?
I would say you could generally have it for your breakfast, lunch and dinner. Again, depends on that client or that patient, whether they're wanting to lose weight or they're trying to maintain weight or weight gain. It's a different scenario. But again, going back to the quality of carbs, so again for breakfast, trying to do maybe a rolled oats or a bran flake option. Again, at lunch, trying to include a healthy grain like your rice, your quinoa, again your beans and your lentils. So start being more conscious of quality and not just looking at convenience.
So even if you are on a diet, even if you are trying to shed a couple of kilos, carbs are necessary in that process. You can't cut them out completely. What does cutting them out actually do to your system?
Just makes us very moody.
That might be the reason.
No, and also just does like your sugar levels drop, and that's when we start
binge eating,
and we start indulging in more higher fat, higher carbohydrate intake foods, and it's just a vicious cycle. So we really do just have to look at and be more conscious of eating a better and balanced lunch or a balanced breakfast and dinner.
Yeah. where you can include
Yes,
a little
yes.
bit of carbs. Now, someone once said to me, May, about women particularly needing carbs, because we seem to be the group that cuts out first if we, once we're trying to shed, and we cut out our carbs. And women especially, whether it's hormonal, I don't know, whether it's got to do with the bones, I'm not sure. What do you know about that?
No, so definitely again it goes back to sustainability.
And body type and all of that, I suppose.
Yeah, and more so with any of these fad diets, you will lose. But whether it's sustainable, it's a difference.
Because you'll want that
Yes.
biscuit at some
Yes,
point, or you'll want that slice of toast with marmalade on it, won't
so,
you?
So it's saying that what is sustainable long term. And yes, if you do want to cut back a little bit on your carbs, I would say rather cut back a little bit in the evening, because we're not necessarily using that as energy. So trying to do it more early in the day as opposed to later.
So not the curry with the potato and the rice. Choose the potato or the rice.
I would rather just choose one option.
Yeah. Okay, I'm down with that.
Yes.
The potato. Potatoes all the way. Thanks very much for that.
Thank
Just
you.
breaking it down for us.
Thank
Fats
you
and
so
carbs,
much.
the ones that you can eat and the ones that you shouldn't. That's